this episode of Miata In Action, I'm showing you 5 things to check before you leave for a road trip. So guys, welcome back to another episode of Miata In Action. Now today's video is going to be a bit shorter, but I'm going to show you 5 things you need to check on your car so you can safely go on a road trip. So let's start with number 1. So now the first thing you need to check on your car before you go on a road trip are your fluids. Now you have your engine oil, you have your coolant, your brake fluid, and also your window washer fluid. Now all of these are actually pretty easy to check. To check your oil, you can just use your dipstick, pull it out, clean it off with a dirty cloth or anything, then put it in again and pull it out. And then you just check the markers which are on the tip of your oil dipstick. Then if you have any, if it's not between the lines, it's like underneath it or it just doesn't read anything, you need to fill up your oil immediately because your engine really needs that kind of stuff. Now coolant and brake, your coolant and brake reservoir are really easy to check. They have these full and low or min and max on your brake reservoir markings, and you just make sure that it's in between there, and if you have enough, that's really handy. And window washer fluid on this car, it's like this big tank, so you can really easily see how much is in there. Just make sure you have enough, because you never know what kind of fat bug is gonna land on your windshield while you're driving. So the second thing you need to check before leaving for a road trip are your tires. Just make sure that you have enough like tread left, so you do not get in any trouble when you get into heavy rain or something like that. You can easily check this by these little bumps that is in between your tire treads, and those will just mark if your tires are worn or not, and also will indicate that your tires are within the 1.6mm minimal tread depth. So number 3 you need to check are your brakes. Now you can easily check this by removing your wheels and then checking your brake pads for one, if they have enough pad left. Otherwise you really are better off changing them out. And then also you need your best to check your brake disc itself, that it isn't cracking, it isn't worn. You can really feel this by feeling the lip. If there's a big lip, your brake disc might be at the end of its life. And if you have no grooves from like worn brake pads in there, like if you have metal on metal, you can really damage your brake disc. Now after you checked your brakes and you're putting your wheels back on, make sure to torque your lug nuts to the right specifications. Normally it's between 110 and 130 Newton meters, because otherwise if you like just go on it with an air tool or something, you can over tighten them, and yeah, you may hit a corner and your wheel might say goodbye because every bolt is broken, which is not fun. So the next one is a really easy one. Just make sure that all your lights are working, make sure that your brake lights are working, your tail lights are working, your low and high beams work, your blinkers work, and don't forget to use them. Also make sure that your fog lights are working. If you get into heavy rain or you go into the mountains and you encounter some fog, then everybody is safe and knows where you are. So the last point is just listen to your car. Now drive your car before you go on road trip. Do you hear anything weird from your engine? Is your gearbox making weird noises when you change gear? Do you hear anything like clunk, or do you feel some slop in your steering? Just make sure that your car feels okay while you're driving it. If it doesn't, make sure it gets checked before you leave, because if it's like that now, it might even get worse on the road. So now that you know the 5 things you need to check before going on a road trip, here are a few things that you might want to take with you. So like I said, take some engine oil and some coolant with you. Maybe take some zip ties with you, which are really easy if anything is hanging loose on your car, just to fasten it again. If you have a full spare, that is really nice. Just make sure you have the right key with you to loosen your wheel, and make sure you have a jack, otherwise you won't get anywhere. If you don't have a spare wheel, you're best to just take a tire fix kit or something to take you to a tire center if you have a flat. Now otherwise, zip ties, some screwdrivers maybe, and a 10mm, you might never know where you need it. And yeah, that's about it. So guys, now you know the 5 things you need to check before a road trip, and you know what to bring for emergencies. But that's all I got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thanks for watching, and if you have any suggestions or videos you want to see, post them in the comments below, or if I forgot anything, you can post them there too, because I'm gonna need them, because we're leaving on a road trip in a few weeks. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good week.